Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What we need to decide today is whether the IRS bypassed Congress, in a sense, wrote a new tax law that is a power given solely to Congress. So let's go through first a series of yes/no questions. I know panels tend not to like those, but let's try to do the best we can. First, Mr. Cannon, is there anything stopping the IRS from implementing Section 36B of the Internal Revenue Code exactly as written?
36B is large and complicated, sir. If what you mean is the provision restricting tax credits to state-run exchanges, no.
Thank you. Mr. Jost, Professor Jost.
36B, as I explained, if you read the definitions, does authorize Federal exchanges to issue a tax credit. So, no, there's no problem.
There's no problem. Thank you. In one part of the law, it authorizes tax credits for people who purchase a qualified health plan through an exchange established by the State under Section 1311. And even people who defend the IRS on this issue, such as yourself, Professor Yost, say that this part of the law is clear. Is there any part of the statute that prevents you from doing just that, offering tax credits only in State-run exchanges?
Again, the definitions.
Mr. Cannon, is there any part of the statute that prevents you from doing just that, offering tax credits? No. Okay.
No, in fact, the statute requires that.
Okay. Is there any part of the statute that conflicts with that, Mr. Cannon?
No, in fact, all other elements of the law support the clear meaning of that limitation of tax credits to health insurance exchanges established by the State under Section 1311. And established by the State. Those words are key.
What about the information reporting requirement?
That does not conflict. It does require exchanges established by under Section 1321 by the Federal Government to report information related to eligibility for tax credits and the advance payment of tax credits to the Treasury Secretary and to individuals enrolled through those exchanges. Okay. But that does not conflict in any way with the limitation of tax credits to State-run exchanges.
Okay. So what is stopping the IRS from implementing the tax credit provision exactly as written and the exchanges from implementing the information reporting requirement exactly as written? Or can they both be implemented exactly as written without conflicting with each other?
The latter. They can both be implemented exactly as written without any conflict.
Agree, Professor Yost?
I would agree because, again, Federal exchanges can issue premium tax credits and can report.
Okay. Do you agree that when authorizing these premium assistance tax credits, the Internal Revenue Code explicitly refers to only health insurance exchanges as established by the States under 1311? Professor Jost?
I do, and again,
Mr. Cannon?
Given the definition, that means Federal exchanges. Okay. That is what the statute says, but I would disagree with Professor Jost that the Federal Government can establish a health insurance exchange established by the State, which is what Section 1311 requires, and that claim is completely inconsistent with the text of the law.
Okay. Simple question. Do you agree that when authorizing those tax credits, the IRC reportedly refers to exchanges established by the State under 1311?
That's correct.
Professor Jost, do you agree with that? Repeatedly refers.
Again, given the definition, that includes Federal exchanges.
Okay. Do you agree that the ruling providing tax credits in Federal exchanges will trigger penalties against employers under the employer mandate in States with Federal exchanges? Professor Jost.
If they do not offer health insurance or adequate or affordable insurance and their employees go into the exchange and get Federal premium tax credits, yes.
Mr. Cannon, yes or no? Yes, thank you. Are you aware, Professor Jost, are you aware of how many times the reconciliation bill, the Health Care and Education Act, amends Section 1401 of the ObamaCare law, which created IRC Section 36B, authorizing the tax credits in State-created exchanges?
Well, at least once, but I don't know off the top of my head.
7 times. Are you aware of how many times that some reconciliation bill, that the same reconciliation bill amended Section 1402 of the Affordable Care Act, which authorizes cost-sharing subsidies credits in State-created exchanges?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, 5 times, so a total of 12 times. So if Congress intended to offer tax credits and cost-sharing subsidies through Federal exchanges, then why didn't Congress include any language to that effect among the 12 amendments within the reconciliation bill authorizing tax credits and cost-sharing subsidies through exchanges established by U.S. territories? Is that a coincidence?
Again, it had already authorized Federal exchanges to issue tax credits, and therefore there was no need to amend it.
Mr. Cannon, do you agree? Is he going
I
wrong?
don't. There's no language authorizing tax credits in Federal exchanges, and the claim that Professor Joseph is making is not supported by the text. What he's saying is that the Federal Government can create a health insurance exchange for purposes of Section 1311. But Section 1311 itself clearly says that for purposes of that section, quote, an exchange shall be a governmental agency or nonprofit entity that is established by a State. It's simply implausible to argue that the Federal Government can establish an exchange that is established by a State.
In fact, we know it was their intent to entice or almost coerce States into signing up for these exchanges. They thought that when Obamacare is released, the States would just line up and sign up for these exchanges. But when they didn't, they realized they had a real problem. But the intent of the bill was clear. That's what they were trying to do. Do you agree?
And that intent was revealed by Senate Finance Committee Chairman Max Baucus when challenged by opponents of the bill in his committee. He said that it does condition tax credits on the creation of a State exchange,
And this
on the State creating an exchange.
The gentleman may finish the answer if he wants. Okay. You're done.
Yes.
The gentleman's time has expired. I thank you. We now go to the gentleman from Illinois,